All right, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jason Burgraff, Executive Director at the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association. We had a previous session talking with Cheryl Rice of PMA Brethour, talking about overall housing activity in the new home market in Ottawa. Now we're going to dive specifically into the activity by type. So the housing typology, single family, townhomes, condos, apartment buildings, that sort of thing overall. But before we do that, Cheryl, give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself.
Cheryl Rice, president of PMA Brethour here in Ottawa. I'm responsible for the Ottawa region. My company here in Ottawa, we focus on the new home market. We're also involved, in resale data as well. The two go hand in hand, and we collect data on the sales and various other information regarding the new home market here in Ottawa. We get the information directly from the builders, and we compile that data, and we produce a variety of reports.
So to kick things right off, the very first chart we're looking at is a breakdown of housing type in June 2024, which is the most recent data. Not necessarily a lot to go on in a single month in isolation,
Right.
but I think it does kind of foreshadow the general themes of the discussion overall, in that, there's a smaller role in the condo market in Ottawa than for the others. Let's focus on condo, actually,
Right.
of just condos in terms of condo apartments and condo townhouses, and why that's not sort of a bigger chunk of the pie.
Right. Well, we can start with condo towns, which include stacked homes, back-to-backs, that type of product. They comprised 14% of sales for the first half of the year. That product is very popular for first-time buyers that are, who are looking to enter the market. And that product comes at a fantastic price point, below $500,000, which has been kind of the marker. Builders, if they want to move product and we want to provide product that the market needs, let's get under that $500,000 level. Now, this product actually had laid dormant during COVID, and it was mainly due to the fact that there was no inventory. But a resurgence of inventory has given buyers more choice, and they're buying the product, and it's doing quite well. Condo apartments are steadily declining, and we had the peak at 10% in 2021. Again, when the market was doing really, really well. We've seen a sharp drop of 4% when the market collapsed in 2022 to 1% now, which is extremely low. There's been a significant decrease in demand, rising construction costs, affordability issues, just a general lack of availability as more developers are opting for building purpose-built rentals. So there is not a lot of condo product being developed. Every now and then I see something pop up, in the application development site, something happening on the Queen Elizabeth driveway. Don't know when, don't know how many, but, every now and then you see some of those crop up, but not a lot. So again, the high interest rates and some of the other factors I mentioned are contributing to this severe decline, and condo apartments are representing just 1%
Right.
of the total market.
So, and when we look at sales by product type, from last year to this year, year to date, there's virtually no difference, right? Singles are at 29 or 30%. Townhomes are at 57 or 55%. That condo town is 12 or 14%.
Right.
In very, very small differences.
Yeah.
Overall in that. But yeah, and we kind of talked about condo townhomes kind of having a bit of a resurgence, if you will, this past year. What do you see as why the one kind of shift is the freehold townhomes
Right.
has gone down just 2%,
Right.
and that 2% is basically shifted over to condo
That's right.
towns.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the advantage of the condo town, both from kind of the supplier side or the builder side, and then the buyer side as well? You've kind of touched on it, but I kind of wanted the idea of looking at it versus the freehold as well, which is still kind of the predominant product in the market.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, you have to kind of look at the success of townhomes, within the context of 2024. Yes, there are the comparisons, but, the townhome itself has been the predominant winner in sales for the first half of this year. It's just the standout performer. It's consistently been above 55% of total sales, and it's highlighting the popularity of that product. It's a versatile product, if I can use that word. It can provide similar square footage to a single, for example, but at lower carrying costs. So that's why that product continues to be really attractive. Builders are offering townhomes now up to 6 bedrooms, which is very difficult to do with a condo town product, which are generally smaller in size, and they're usually stacked or back to back and that sort of thing. So I think that, the price point is what's really attractive for the consumer. And it's an easy product for developers to build. And they're getting more units, per square foot kind of thing. And I think that's what's been contributing to both product types, actually doing really well in the market.
Yeah, we've it meets that demand for what we've called kind of ground-oriented housing, right? Where it's not a
Yeah,
building where you're up super high. You can, you have a quick step out
yeah,
to, even if it's a small patch of land,
yeah,
you have a postage stamp sized
yeah,
backyard, you
yeah,
still have it.
exactly.
And people have certainly voted with their feet that
Yeah.
that's the kind of housing that they still want for the majority, especially families.
Yeah, and the traditional townhome pricing can be sustained, at a lower price point with new series being launched that have no finished basements and they have basic specifications. So that keeps the price down for the consumer.
And then if we look at product type and the split from 2019 to 2024, that's where we see the real kind of a very significant difference
Right,
of single family homes dropping from 40% of offerings in that year down to 30%.
right,
And the condo apartments essentially kind of picking up the majority of that piece. With again, townhomes still just kind of the slight majority
yeah,
and holding strong
yeah,
overall.
yeah.
Um, is it just affordability that's brought that single family item down? I would note that sort of over these past 5 years as well. The city of Ottawa is demanding that new communities yield more homes
Correct.
per hectare as
Yeah,
well, right? So that's also pushing for more multifamily types
right.
like townhomes.
Right, right. So if you're looking at the chart, you'll see 2022 market crash year. That's when, we did see some changes.
Yeah.
But towns and singles, they kind of teeter back and forth, right? So when I see a 3 to 5% increase or decrease in one versus the other, it's pretty normal. It's when we see new products that increase in sales, like we were talking about the condo town
Hmm.
as an example. That's where we kind of see, well, where are the sales from that going if they're not going to single family homes? Now, singles, yeah, part of it is price, but it's also where builders are putting their attention, right? Are they releasing more single family homes? Are they releasing more towns, or are they releasing more condo towns? So it's, again, going back to what's available in inventory for the buyer to buy. If I were a developer and I wanted to sell homes, I would go where the money is. I would go where the buyers are. Still knowing that you've got your buyer group that wants towns. You can't forget about them, right?
Hmm.
But it's serving the needs of the community and your own company, right?
So then, would you say kind of towns and singles are more substitutable than we kind of thought they were in terms of, when someone's out there, they're kind of committed to ground oriented, right? And then
Right.
it's
Yeah.
availability, price, where they are, location,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, are they substitutable? I think that there are towns where I mentioned earlier you can get more square footage out of a town, almost close to a single, right? But there may be other features in the single that you're not getting in a town. You don't have an adjoining wall, as an example. But sometimes I wonder if one can cannibalize the other. And I know even builders sometimes struggle with that, even like they're doing semi-detached and they're doing single family and they're doing townhomes. They don't want to cannibalize their own product line with their offerings. So, but market-wise, with the price point for singles, though, is still significantly higher than it is for a townhome. So, a buyer is going to choose based on location, based on product type, proximity to transit, if that's something that they're looking for. It's product type is important, but there's a lot of other factors that go into their choice.
For sure. So as we look at sort of the last chart on product type, which kind of dives more into the year by year change of type, and we see kind of a very dramatic drop from 2022 to 2023 on singles. Not to focus all on singles, but that 13% drop.
Right.
That then hasn't sort of gotten that proportion of market hasn't gotten any bigger.
Right.
For singles this year.
Right.
One assumes that trend is probably going to continue.
Yeah.
Given affordability and especially on the policy end, on our focus,
Right.
I don't see kind of singles getting back to a 40% share of market, at least not in Ottawa. It seems like, I think if a lot of people are also, of course, moving out of Ottawa to,
Right.
if you're committed to a single and you've
Yeah.
got a certain price point you got to hit, right? You're
Yeah.
going to move to Empire or somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Maybe to do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of now. Do you see that? Do you see kind of the proportions of market share where we see it now kind of staying where they are in terms of singles might even, they're at 30% now. Could they even drop even farther? Townhomes are kind of, at that 50, just above 50-ish percent rise. Could we see an even bigger proportion of townhome condos? Condo towns rather. Because we talked about earlier about how kind of condo apartments are kind of ceding to for-purpose rental.
Right.
Like the building is a building is a building, and then the
Right.
kind of tenure in between is maybe a bit up in the air,
Yeah.
depending on what the market style is.
Yeah.
Do you see condo towns kind of gaining even more prominence?
Okay. So first of all,
A lot of questions there. Sorry.
yeah, you could be onto something with the percentage split between singles and townhomes, right? You could be onto something there. I mean, you work with a lot of information and policies that gives you greater insight than I on what's happening with single-family homes and the use of acreage and things like that. But I won't disagree with you that the share of the single-family home, it has decreased a lot. We don't expect that it's going to exponentially start increasing, certainly not this year and next year. And again, another point you made was the consumer looking outside of the city in outlying areas. I mean, I've got developers who are asking, where's the land?
Yeah.
And they are looking outside. We're doing research for some of them in outlying areas, Cornwall, Renfrew, like wherever, right? And if they want to build singles and they've got their own share of land that they're working with now with their condo towns and their current inventory of singles. But there are some that are looking, they need the land to continue developing. And that's where a lot of buyers are looking for the larger spaces, the bigger house, the bigger yards, and at an affordable price beyond what they can get in Ottawa core.
Which I think will lead into the next discussion about location and area in and around Ottawa.
Right.
So let's wrap that discussion on product type at this point.
Okay.
Cheryl, thanks very much again for this segment. Let the people know where they can get more stats and info from you.
Yeah, they can go to pmaottawa.com. There's a lot of information on the website on the products that we provide on the new home market, and you can contact me directly at any time.
All right, we'll see you at the next convo.
All right.
Thanks, Cheryl.